Hi everybody, Meg Sharp from the Cambridge Group of Clubs, and I'm back with another full body workout. Today I want to incorporate the stairs just for something a little different, still really effective, solid, foundational, simple exercises. I'm going to do 3 sets of everything today. They're supersets, so 2 exercises that I put back to back. On the initial run, I'm going to cue a little bit more, take my time a little bit more, and then for sets 2 and 3, we'll get at it a little faster. You can get a sense of how much pace you can put in. But remember, the integrity of the movement is really important. How you're positioning your shoulders, your hips, how you're bracing, where the weight is through your feet, through the palms of your hands, all that stuff. So again, take a little bit of time for the first run through and then speed it up so you can get your heart rate up a little bit. Very first thing we're going to do is we're going to take one foot on the step. I'm going to start with my right foot first, and then I'm afraid I'm going to have to put my back to you. So we're going to go into 10 simple step downs. So the purpose of the step down is really to imagine that the floor there is actually not there. So that even though I'm going to go all the way down nice and controlled and touch the ground with my heel, all of my weight, 100% of my weight and intensity stays through the right leg. I initiate the movement with a hip hinge, so I flex the abs, I hinge the hips, and stick my bum back a little bit, and then sit back down into the movement. So here goes 1. Push through the heel, come all the way up. Hands can be anywhere you like to facilitate some balance for you. Think full foot on the step, but try and also think about articulating and leaning back into that heel a little bit more. We want to try and make this a glute dominant move. We've got 4 more to go on this side. We are going to do a larger version of this movement after. So the purpose of this, though, is to really warm up the mechanics, get the glute firing, work on that hip hinge back, and full extension all the way through. We're going to move right into the other side. So left foot on the platform, take a moment, spread your toes in your shoes, get the entire foot engaged, potentially lean back into heel a little bit more, and down we go. 1, full extension at the top. 2, drive all the way up, touch down with the foot to the floor, but again, all the control and energy stays in my working leg, the leg that is on the step, full extension through. We've got 5 up to go on this side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Of course, keeping my head up, neck nice and long. I'm going to move my band just a little bit lower under my banister. Got a nice medium tension band here. I'm going to start with my left foot forward, right foot back, up nice and tall. Draw those shoulders down and back, and pull. Here comes my row. So 1. And with this row, we're going to do a total of 20, a little bit lighter with the band work. And I'm going to switch lead legs halfway through. So here's number 5. I've got 5 more to go, and then I'm going to keep going with my row, but I'm going to change lead leg. So again, initiation of the movement, shoulders down and back, lots of energy and tension through the abdomen, both feet nice and centered on the ground. I'll take a quick pause after this one. I'm going to change sides, change feet, and carry on another 10. Draw the shoulders down and back, squeeze for a moment, really thinking about the muscles through the lats, through the mid-back, keeping the neck nice and long, throat open, deep breath in, exhale, row, brace and squeeze. Potentially a little bit of energy through the glute and hip of that front foot. It's stabilizing me a little bit more than the back one. Nice and upright, hold squeeze, shoulders down and back. Go 3 more, 3, and 2. Perfect, 1 more time. Okay, great, so let's keep going. Right away, right foot back on the step. Up we go, and hands wherever you prefer them for balance, up. Initiate the movement with the hips. 2 and 3. Lost my balance there for a minute because I'm looking all over the place. So for you, find a focus spot to focus on. Encourage that knee to track right over the toes and all the way forward. Extend those hips through. We've got 4 more to go. 3, 2, and last one. Terrific. Switch right over to the other leg. Bring it over, weight through the leg, spread the toes, nice and tall, down and up. Control through that left glute, control through that left leg. Again, Anchoring a little bit more in the heel if it helps. That may help ensure that there's no pain in the knee and that it remains a hip dominant move. 4 more to go. 4 and 3, 2, and last one. Let's head right back over to that band. Bring the band again up. So notice I have it just about waist height. Left foot first, nice and tall. 1, 2, nice and strong with the ribs. 3. So even as I'm extending and opening the chest up a little bit, got lots of good abdominal to control to ensure that I'm not opening up the chest and arching through that low back, right? Nice and steady and strong. 3 more, and I'm going to switch bleed legs. 3, 2, and last one. Switch legs, carry on. 10 more to go. 10, again, initiate the movement, shoulders down and back, squeeze, hold down and back, and up. Good, nice and strong and centered through the legs, long through the spine, mid back and lats, and certainly getting a little bit into the biceps as well. But I do want you to try and focus more on the back. Squeeze, hold. 3 more to go. 3, 2, and last one. Terrific. Let's go one more time. Right back over to this foot. And there we go, down and up. So as I mentioned, we are going to do this slightly more advanced movement of this. A little bit of larger move, so it's really great to warm up that hip to start with. Lots of strength through the abdominal. And then of course when we do the 2-step version, for those of you that doesn't feel so good for today, I want you to remember this one and just come back to a lower step version. So 3 more to go here, and then we'll switch sides. 3, last 2, and 1. Great. Right over to the other side. Left foot, center. Lots of strength and energy through the core. And 1. Good. And again, touching that foot down, but not allowing any of the weight to transfer over into the other leg. We really are keeping all the work on the left-hand side. Hip hinge to start, full extension of the hips to finish. 4 more to go. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Step down. 1 more set with our row. I'm going to grab just a little further in, get a tiny bit more tension for this side, make it a little bit harder for myself. Nice and tall. Set the heels down and off we go. 1 and 2. Keep those elbows nice and low, right? We're not wanting to roll up at all, but keep it down nice and low. Open up that chest, shoulders down and back. Nice tall and long through that thoracic spine. And imagine how those shoulders can slide together and then slide down your back, coming close to the spine and close to each other. And the tops of the shoulders never shrugging towards your ears. Go 1 more here. And switch legs. Last one here. Three left to go. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Okay, this band for the next set is going to go up a little bit higher. We are going to go into a full resistance band pull down. And as I mentioned, we're going to get just a little more dynamic with this leg. I still want you to try and get into the hip and glute as much as possible. But we've got a larger stance. We're going to front step up instead of a step down. You can get a little more quad through this one, a bit more balance, a bit more strength as we drive all the way up, right? So I push through. Again, the trick with this one is using the step leg, not the floor leg. So there will be a tendency to want to push off on my left leg. I want you to center the top leg as much as you can, drive through that top leg to bring you all the way up, extend the hips all the way through to get that glute. And now the trick is control using this leg. You know the floor is there, but ultimately you only want to set that foot down at the very last minute and then transfer the weight back into that right leg. I'm gonna go left leg first, it's my weaker leg. Get it over and done with. Okay, nice and strong, centered through the left leg, heel right down onto the step, strong through the core, eyes nice and high to help me balance, and up we go. 1, and then control the left leg on the way down. 2, try not to push through that bottom leg as much as you can. Really drive nice and tall, full strength and exertion through that left leg for me, so the top leg for all of you. There's number 5. I've got a nice full extension at the top. It's going to encourage that glute to control the movement on the way back down. Again, still hoping to get lots of glute activation through here, but the nature of the positioning, I'm certainly going to get a little more hamstring, a bit more quadricep and calf, a little bit more of that full leg. Good, nice and tall. Go one more time. Beautiful, let's switch sides. Bring the other foot up, right leg centered, unweight the back leg, everything through the front, full extension at the top, control on the descent. Nice and strong through those abs, no twisting through the hips or torso, nice and square. And working, gang, on that control factor on the way up and down, be really mindful with this movement is actually what's going to make it more difficult, more intense, more challenging, safer, and more effective. Let's go 4 more. As always, if you've done this with me before, you know I get a bit too excited about talking about what we're doing, and I sometimes lose count. All right, step down off of that. Reposition, we're getting back into the back. So important, right, to strengthen that back. We're spending so much time at our desks. Feet are shoulder width apart. The hip hinge again. Push those hips back. I feel a gentle stretch through my hamstring. Neck and thoracic spine nice and long. Drop those shoulders down. Open up through the neck and chest. And then beginning the movement with the shoulders, drawing those shoulder blades down and back, and then finish by pulling the arms through. 1, 2. Nice deep breath in. 3. A little bit of a flare maybe at the bottom. 4, as you extend those shoulders down and back. 5, 6, and 7. If you can, we're going to take this all the way through. You're going to do a total of 20. And the band work is so effective, so amazing. I know for some of you, though, it does feel a little light. And the trick with making lighter work more intense can be to increase the volume for sure. The other one, of course, is isometrics, where you hold a little bit longer at the bottom and really use your brain to get extra muscles firing more effectively, muscles to fire a little bit harder, and really groove that movement. For me, it's what I love about the bands, is that ability to get right into some of those tinier muscles. Sometimes when all you're doing is loading heavy, some of them are subtle movement patterns get overlooked. Go 3 more. 3, and 2, and last 1. So nice and mindful on that first set. Let's take this one with a little more pace. Left leg up we go. 1. Now more pace doesn't mean less control. The movement is still beautifully controlled. Lots of energy through the leg, through the core. I'm ensuring those shoulders are sitting down and back. Lots of nice deep breaths. But I'm allowing that pace to come up a little bit more. Get that heart rate up a tiny bit more. Start getting some of that sweat factor. But again, be super careful that you're not letting the integrity of the movement slip at all. And if you prefer to slow this down, keep the same pace as the first step, power to you. That's probably what I would end up doing a lot of the time. Certainly I would do that if I had some heavier weights or some weights to hold on to. But at the moment I am a bit interested in that hybrid workout. Today, getting that heart rate up and a little bit of the sweat going. Okay, I'm not paying attention. So what I realize I'm doing is I'm pushing through that bottom leg. There we go. I need to do everything with the top leg. That makes it so much harder. I can keep the pace going, but I really have to override that desire to toe off on the left foot at the very beginning. So watch that. It's huge with this one. Okay. Hip hinge back, shoulders down, abs nice and tight, and pull. 1, 2, 3. I can feel my low back tightening a little bit, so I'm tucking my tailbone under a little bit. That shortens the abdominal tissue in the front. Gives me a little more core control, and just inhibits those muscles all around the lumbar spine. Shoulders down and back, shoulders down and back. Again, careful as you pick up the pace. Make sure you're still got that strong internal cueing voice. Shoulders down and back, draw them down and back. Lots of energy through the abs, long through the neck. Even weight through both feet. 6, 5, breathing if you can in through the nose and out through the mouth. A bit of nose breathing helping me keep my cervical spine nice and even, throat open and straight. Okay, one more set to go. Off we go. Left leg up. Push everything about that front leg. 1, front leg on the way down. 2, and front leg again. 3, full extension at the top. Nice and controlled as I come back. The hip hinge to start that movement back, so it's not bending the knee first, it's hinging the hips first. Gentle and easy on this foot on the ground. And here we go one more time. Come all the way down, switch legs, right leg, center it and push. Ooh, I really fell back on that one. My right leg wasn't awake. So really steady, taking my time a little bit more on these reps, ensuring that I get that control, that energy through that right leg, because not only is it bringing me up, I needed to control my descent as well. So 3 more, and then 1 more set of pull downs to finish. 2, last 1, stepping all the way down, and get ready to pull down and through, hip hinge forward. Nice and long through the spine. Start with the shoulders. 1. Shoulders down and back. 2. Lots of energy through the abs. 3. Little hold at the bottom. 4. 5. 6. I'm thinking about keeping the chest open. Nice and wide through my collarbone. Shoulders away from the ears. Deep breaths. Throat open, almost like there's a little line from the top of my head that's tractioning me forward a little bit, so I've got loads of length through the vertebrae in my cervical, thoracic spine. And let's do another 7 here. 7, and then we're going to hit the floor. A little more hip work, a little more core work. 3 left to go. 3. And 2, last 1, and release it down. Great. Okay, perfect. Down we go onto the floor. Let's go into a hip bridge. I'm going to bring this off. I'm going to bring my glutes right down to the step, and I'm going to go right up onto the second step. If you would like, we can take this band and pulling down. I'm going to secure my hips down a little. Give me a little more tension using the resistance band as I drive the hips up into a straight line. So some reminders for your hip bridges or hip thrusters. We want even weight through the heels. Lots of energy through the abdomen. Arms are down, pressing gently into the floor mat, as is the back of the head. So I've got a nice posterior chain line of support. The band is optional. I like it. You really want to be careful that you don't start driving too much on one side or the other. Typically your stronger side will take over.
especially with the band, and start to push a little more steadily against the band. So draw those shoulders down and back. Gentle pressure, both heels right down into the step, extend up. Pause there for just a second for this first one. Knees nice and level. Ensure the extension, the energy, the strength, and the movement is coming from the glutes, a little bit of the hamstrings, and not from that low back. All right, off we go. Here we go. 1. Finish at the top by squeezing those glutes together. 2. Shoulders down and back. 3. Gentle pressure, back of the head into the floor. 4. Nice and strong. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Terrific. Now, keeping my feet elevated, I'm going to take my hands behind my head. Now, I'm not going into a curl, but rather I'm going into a lift. So my spine actually stays nice and neutral. I'm not curling through my spine or bending, flexing my thoracic spine. I'm simply lifting my chest a little bit so that my torso, my abdominal has to hold the weight of my head and my shoulders, and then I'm coming back down. Deep breath in and lift towards the ceiling. And if you want to make this a little bit trickier, you would lift one heel off the ground and then lift the other heel off the ground. Let all that energy and tension going into the abdominal. Relax the neck. Keep the head back into your hands as much as you possibly can. Good, and if this is a bit uncomfortable for the neck, you can try taking your tongue, sticking on the roof of your mouth. That's right, the roof of your mouth, the roof of your mouth. Press it there to engage the scalenes a little bit to help with a bit more support and energy through the neck. So we're going to go 2 more. 1 more time. Relax it down. Right back into your hip bridge. 10 reach. Ready, gang? Off we go. 1. Nice and strong at the top. 2. The height of that movement is achieved by flexing the glutes, using lots of abdominal strength and control to ensure that you don't overreach. You know, push those hips up there so high that the low back is getting overly involved. And we've got 4 more to go, and then right back into the abs. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Now for those of you who liked that modified sit-up, go for it again. For some of you, that type of movement never feels good, so I always like to give an option. I love anything with planking. I can use my stairs here, I can go straight arm plank, I can go elbow base plank, and I can drop my hips down and just groove with the plank here and hold it nice and strong, nice and steady right there. Another option for you, and I know some of you are looking to get into a little bit more shoulder work, some shoulder stability. Keep that heart rate up nice and strong. I can establish a plank here, and then I can climb up and down the steps, alternating my lead arm every time. Right, so on this side I go left up, left down, and this side right up, right down, left up, left down, right up, right down. Perfect. Nice and strong, shoulders always down and back, nice and long through the neck. Let's go 1 more set. Last set, and we're done. Okay, heels up, band in place, hip drives, lock through those abs, get those glutes ready, and drive up towards the sky. 1 and 2, hips nice and level. 3, clean finish at the top. 4, so I make a nice straight line from my knees all the way through my ribs and shoulders, and use strong glutes and strong abs to control that full extension of that torso and upper leg. Go 3 more, and 2, and last 1. Beautiful. Take a moment, position yourselves wherever you would like to for your abdominal work. And last one here. Nice, steady and strong, thinking about reaching the sternum up towards the ceiling. The movement is quite small. And again, not looking to flex into the spine, flex any of those vertebrae, but more just to lift the chest, the shoulders, and the head a little bit, so that abdominal has to control and lift the weight of that body. Here we go, 4 more, and 3, last 2, and 1 more time. And relax yourself down. Terrific work, everybody. A little awkward to get out of that position.
Thank you so much for coming today. I hope you enjoyed it, got your heart rate up a little bit, got moving. So happy to see you from my home to yours.